Well, hello and welcome. I need a camera to cover more. This doesn't look right. I join the army of Gmodisms and I'll get a very big recording studio someday. Anyways, here we have the Gimle. Actually not. This is the imposter Gimle. Yes, this is the imposter Gimle. The real Gimle... Well, whatever. It's too far. We can't see that far. Or whatever. Well, this is the Gimle Mk2, which is not the official Mark II or anything like that. It is a fan build Mark II by Kevintri. So Kevintri basically took what he liked or didn't like with the Gimle and changed a bunch of things, a bunch of systems. I think the loadout on many of the cannons are a little bit different. When I'm looking around here, I just think it looks exactly like usual, but apparently the turrets are a bit different now. I looked at it a little bit before. We have more diff guns on top of here, for example, I do believe. I think we have one here. Anyways, doesn't matter. There was some different types of changes. So we are basically having a fan improved Gimle versus the regular Gimle. So Kevintri, can you please write in the comments exactly what is different with the Gimle Mark II? Because I checked it before, but I completely forgot. The pack cannon is gone, and instead we're having a railgun, maybe? And I think the loadout of the crams are different, and some interior parts too. But anyways, I'll refer you to the comment field, and hopefully Kevintri has written what's different there. This is a new diff gun. I haven't seen that there. That's a pretty neat placement though, that works. Look at that, the Gimle is targeting the shield generator. We're just checking out the Vigoletta is left, of course, because that is an excellent system, if I can say so myself. So the top anti-missile turret is gone. I wonder where that budget is spent now. Maybe this railgun turret is pretty expensive. I'm not sure if it is expensive or not. It seems to be not going down very deeply or anything. I haven't seen it fire at all. Oh, I wonder if this construction is perhaps messed up. Oh no, it's probably anti... But it should turn to the right. Honestly, it looks like the rotation angles are just set up in a messed up way. Well, check your things before sending them in. The regular Gimle is, however, not in the lead. The Gimle Mark II is 1.something% in front of it, so it's a very close still. We're gonna follow this thing here and see what happens over at the AoG Gimle, which is down to 93%. Well, that decoy cram didn't go anywhere. The AoG Gimle is fighting valiantly, but I think some steam engines, to be honest, are being pretty targeted here, right? Probably the boilers. No. But that's gonna start some fire within, probably. I do think that when one vessel has gotten the upper hand, the rest of the battle is going to progress quick into that direction as well, since you'll need a really lucky hit to turn this around. Or just going to BAM! That happens. Okay. That's a so close explosion of the ammo storages. Superstructure hit. The beautiful thing with the Gimle superstructure hits is that it basically doesn't matter. The superstructure is basically there to waste enemy damage too. But if the superstructure is completely destroyed, we're getting into serious trouble too. It is evening out a little bit, but, you know, anything can happen. Both of these ships are basically the same, and both are, of course, dealing a lot of damage pretty quickly, which means that things can change pretty quickly. Like, one lucky shot, seriously, will switch this around. Look at that. This AI. Ooh! This AI is semi-fried. Look at that secondary compartment. It's gone. That means that the Gimle... That means that the Arcoballista systems can't aim anymore, I believe. They're taken out anyways. Did I set... Honestly, I don't quite remember setting up the laser turrets to double as civs. Apparently I did. I just forgot about that. Man, why did I do that? Oh, it's because we can shoot at them at longer distance. That's actually not a bad idea. Not a that bad idea. So, it's been 9 minutes in game so far. The AoG Gimle is being grinded down slowly. Look at that. It's not even really going forwards. Its forward propulsion is just so dead. 64% just... Oh, damn. That's big pieces falling off here. Yeah, something with the AI. There is a lot of things that are damaged here. The Mark II is in a much better shape right now. Well, we can probably assume that the Gimle Mk2 will indeed win this. So we're gonna be back for a second round. Unless anything happens that changes anything, then I'll pop back in and say hi. Second round, here we are. And, well, they are of course very similar, but it's fun to see at least one example more of someone trying to improve the Gimle to make it win. So after you've probably seen the Gimle after party, which I and Mia Captain Y built. That one actually lost against the AoG Gimle. Not sorry for the spoiler, but check that video out anyways. It's glorious. Very, very equal start, of course. If anyone disables a main cram cannon, that Gimle will of course have the biggest chance of winning this. Ooh, we actually had mortars doing damage. That's pretty fun. It's a rare you see. Look at this. This is why you use big steam. Oh, yes, it's still targeting that area. Okay, we're gonna see if it starts a fire here. That's actually pretty funny. Oh, and here we have a couple of steam boilers. If they burn down, we'll have a we'll have a fire. With an explosion. So the Kevintri's Gimle is actually behind the 2% now. Now that got evened out because we got an explosion very close by here. I'm just so... We need to stay for this steam boiler. This is why you need to have your steam boilers underwater nowadays. Look at that. Look at that. It got destroyed. And there is now an official very bad fire here. Yeah, so that's what happens with boilers nowadays. Be scared. Put them under waterline. I'm not sure if you dare to have steam on flying things. Basically, the fire update has made flying things a little bit less good, which is very good because airships has been overpowered in From the Depth since forever, and probably, honestly, still is behind. Oh, and now look at that. The AoG Gimle has gotten some lucky shots at the turrets here. Look at that, those barrels. I don't know which weapon did it, but the AoG Gimle has basically clipped most barrels from the Mark II Gimle. Anyways, we are progressing here. The Gimle Mk2 is at 79%. I do highly believe it's going to lose this battle. And that's of course because, well, most of the cram cannons on the Mk2 version of the Gimle here doesn't even fire anymore. I think it's pretty funny that we have some cool... Like, the Gimle's bridge is actually built to give a pretty good view over the battlefield. Maybe not the most armor capabilities, but definitely a good view. And I must say, it does really deliver that. Scary when it comes in stuff like that. It honestly looks pretty scary. You just sit around here and we'll see cram shells moving at 300 meters per second. It's pretty quick, isn't it? It's like, it looks slow in from depth, but in from the depth, a vehicle going 50 meters per second is considered average / not very quick, which is of course insane. If it was 50 kilometers per hour, yeah, you know, I'd get it. But 50 meters per second? No, that's a lot faster. Isn't it? Let's look at the dinner table guest view then. By the way, Kevintri, who has built or refitted this Gimle, is a Matros 3rd class in the army of Gmodism, which you also can become if you want to. So if you want to be part of the army of Gmodism and join the different challenges we have, but you don't want or don't have this means to support the channel at Patreon as commissioned officer, you can always join the army of Gmodism as an enlisted, which is of course 100% free. Just gives you access to a like hashtag army of Gmodism Discord channel, a special voice room, and also granted access to most, like all of the army of Gmodism specific challenges we do. And if you want to enlist in the army of Gmodism, like in any enlisting, you'll have to start from the bottom. And when you win some challenges and move up the rank, you'll get a high rank. But you'll enlist as a Matros 3rd class, and you'll do that by just self-assigning Matros 3rd class. And if you want to know a little bit better, I have made a video about it too, and there is also in the rules and the info on the Discord channel a little bit information on how to do that. So self-enlist in the army of Gmodism, Matros 3rd class, and you'll get access to your army of Gmodism challenges. Or if you want to buy yourself status, well, you can join the commissioned officers in the army of Gmodism via Patreon. Works too. Also, we are having a podcast now on the channel. You should definitely check that out. It's called Gaming and Tech for a Better World. You find it on Amazon, Spotify, and YouTube, of course, if you want to see us or not. I think it's on Amazon Music too, to be honest, but Amazon sent me some email that they kind of blocked my account in log something changes because they thought I was in danger. I think it, which I don't think. I think it was just me setting up the podcast, so I don't know if it's available on Amazon Music. If you use Amazon Music, can you please check if Gaming and Tech for a Better World is available and if all the like episodes are there? Please tell me, because I really want to know. The thing is that Amazon Music isn't available in Sweden, so I can't go to the Facebook page and check myself. And I already tried using online proxy tunnels to the USA, and it doesn't work. I can't access Amazon Music, so I don't know. So if you're located in USA or any other country that Amazon Music operates in, please check if the podcast is available there, because as I said, I can't check it myself. Look at that. That was happened when you have no barrel for your cram cannon. It doesn't fly very far. I think it was this is the culprit. I tried to fire. We only have one. By the way, as for cram shell speeds, you only need one block to shoot a cannon. So I always make sure that my inmost block is, I think it's a motor block, so that it at least has, you know, full movement capabilities. In any case, you can see here that the Gimle Mk2 by Matros 3rd class Kevin is starting to look a little bit sad with 61.6%. While the AoG Gimle this time is at 84.7. So that means we'll have to start a new battle. Well, assuming that the Gimle Mk2 doesn't turn this challenge around, but considering it's just sitting there shooting a cramshell once in a while that usually gets disabled when it comes there, I think it's just gonna sit there and die quietly. But I'll check back if we have any other outcome. The second battle was won by the OG Gimle. Which one is which? Well, let's see which one is the imposter. Look at that. It's just burning. Aha, there it is. Here is the... It's not an imposter. It's just an update by Matros 3rd class Kevintri. But as you can see for the color scheme, it's definitely imposter here, because it obviously has been taken over by some alien force, which has colored it teal and purple. It's a very equal battle, so it's gonna be up to this third battle. Look at that, Gimle broadside versus Gimle broadside. You do not want to be between these two ships while they are solving who is superior. Alright, so the battle is progressing here. I think we should zoom in a little bit about the OG Gimle here. Looks like we have a fire again, starting in the back here. That happened last time too. I don't know how Kevintri updated the targeting, but it's possible that it did. So it targets specific areas more easily. I don't know why it would target behind there, because that's a hot thing and the laser is already set up to target hot blocks. So I would imagine the... oh, look at that. Well, looks like the OG Gimle has already tried to target that part, but kind of gave up. 2 minutes in the battle, 93 versus 93 percentages. Well, we are now close to 4 minutes in the battle, and the OG Gimle is at 91 percentages, whereas the Mark II by Kevintri is at 89. Even though the Mark II may be updated a little bit here and there on some different aspects, I think that the extra civs turret, or what it is, that sits behind there, that's replacing the pack turret. It's very unfortunate that it's not set up properly so that it can target the Gimle, because it's obviously it can't move and it hasn't been used in the battle yet. So it's very unfortunate that we have a deadweight system on there. It should really have been checked before being submitted. And we replace a pack cannon, which is the Triad from the Gimle. You can see a shot in there. It's not, of course, a super good system, that's true, but the pack still does damage, you know? And I wonder if the lack of that extra weapon system is really the tipping bowl that makes sure that the OG Gimle gets the upper hand in this battle as well. Because obviously, that was a really brutal shot. Because obviously, this is not doing any damage, and the Gimle is indeed doing damage. Yeah, most likely that's my assessment. So it's very important to battle test things. If you have like problems with running it, of course it will be a little bit difficult to battle test it, but you can always go into and run a very slow battle test at like 0.1 speed with main settings. And most computers should probably be able to run that. It might take some time, but one can always just leave the computer to fight a little bit, and then you can come back and you can see if all the turrets can target and stuff like that. But obviously, building super big battleships and switching around and stuff like that, it's indeed a very difficult thing. I played from depth for many years before attempting to build anything as large as this. About large, I hope you have checked in our battles, that we got a little bit help by a Discord member named Susu, who's built a little bit different, really big ships. We did battles with that, so she recorded them at like slower speeds and I sped them up and put on commentary and stuff like that. So if you want to see 30 million ship versus like 20 million ships, well, we got the Stellarion versus the what is it called now? The Saturnus. Very, very big and glorious battle. You should absolutely check it out. And when this video is up, I don't know if it's still on the to-do list or if it's already uploaded. Maybe it's even published. But the Stellarion versus the Super Davidos is also going to pop in. Yes, so do check out the really, really big battles if you think that 2 million, 2.2 million versus 2.2 million is just too small. Right, so the Mark II Gimle down to 80% yes, but now the Mark II has managed to create a fire in the front here. Not that there is much important here, should be said. The funny thing, if you manage to damage the Gimle lambs, you might do yourself a disservice. I don't know why I EMP protected them, but I actually feel that for the future, if we have a combined like lambs and damage laser system, it's probably better to not EMP insulate the lamb outputs so that they will be disabled after some time and that the laser can do damage instead. Because later in the battle, I found from experience that it's usually better to deal damage than to protect yourself from damage. So I think perhaps it's smart to have lamb systems that are somewhat disposable so that they will not be a factor in the later game so that the damage can be upheld. Just an idea, but I think we might implement something like that on a future design. Well, the Mark II is at 77% yes. We can see I don't know why it happened again, but I do suspect that the Mark II uses a completely different cram layout, and that cram layout doesn't have as much spread out frags like the OG Gimle has. And the OG Gimle thus deals spread out frag damage, which means that the barrels are very damaged. Oh, the Vigoletta is down. Anyways, that the barrels are damaged on the enemy here. So the Gimle Mark II, we're gonna follow one of its main crams if any of them are still alive, so we can kind of assess what type of damage it does. But honestly, it seems that it has some problem with detection. Can it even aim? What is it doing? Wow. The Mark II Gimle somehow doesn't have proper detection. That's interesting. That's interesting. So basically... That surprises me a little bit, because I can't imagine that Kevintri has removed detection. Well, but basically the detection, different overlays and redundancy it's called. So maybe it is because the detection turret is gone, that too much of detection and that not enough auxiliary detection. Yeah, it must be taken out because all the turrets, maybe they've been damaged by cram, all of them. Is it like even this one maybe? Not sure. They seem to be, because of the angle, we're not getting accurate detection. We have like one camera left. That's actually very interesting. Here is a, So the Gimle Mark II, it's definitely not going to make it. That means most likely it's going to be loser's bracket for the Mark II by Matros 3rd class Kevintri. Pretty cool to see though, someone trying to upgrade the Gimle single-handedly. Of course we had the Gimle After Party made by me and Mia Captain Y, which is pretty cool, but it still also got into the loser's bracket. I'm like curious, if I make a new Battleship design, will it beat the Gimle? Because I'm not sure. I hope it will, but honestly, the after party, we tried to make it better than the original Gimle. It didn't do it. And here we have the Mark II upgrade by Kevintri, and it doesn't do it. So it's very interesting. Maybe I'll never make a better ship than the Gimle. I'm starting to suspect that. Who knows? Well, in any case, the Mark II is down to 55.6%. So whenever this video ends, it has... yeah, okay, it's already under 55. Anyways, hope you enjoyed it. Remember that you, if you want to, can support the channel monetarily. If you want to give us some more access to, I don't know, equipment and shit. You have the Army of Gmodism via Patreon, you have the Ecclesiarchy of Gmodism on YouTube membership, and the Ministry of Gmodism on shop.gmodism.com. So, where we also find merch. Except these things. They are on Spring Store. Yeah. In any case, hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time. Check out that podcast. This is your host, Lord High Eric of the Army of Gmodism. We're signing out.